afternoon or good evening, guys, depending on which part of planet Earth you are in. I'm just about to commentate the penultimate quarter-final game in the Troposphere group between Andy Saunders from Canada and Zachary Dang representing the US of A. According to Zach, this is the first match in the knockout stage between Canada and America. So this is going to be a fun game. Both these guys are my friends, so I don't want either of them to lose. So this is going to get really bad. It's like they can't both win, and they can't both not win. Let's just hope for like one win, 1.5 wins each, and they both have equal spread, and then somehow it's going to have to be decided. It will be completely hilarious if it doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, it will be even more hilarious. Both players have had similar run-ins in the round of 16 to get to this point, the quarterfinals. So Andy won 2-0 and Zach won 2-0. Last time Andy played, I believe he commentated a match before with me, and he conveniently forgot something that we had discussed in the commentary. So let's see if he remembers what happened earlier. So here we go. Zach is on the left, and Andy is on the right. So Zach's opening rack's got 3 ends on it. It is pretty disgusting. There isn't really anything remotely useful to do here that gets rid of 4 tiles. You know, ideally he'll want to get rid of 2 ends, but that's just not possible on this move without changing. He'll probably change and keep NES, I would think. The balance there is really good. He gets rid of the triplicate N. It's completely worth changing for. He changes for. I assume that he kept the wonderful NES combination. And he picks up the X, so he's got good scoring possibilities. He plays Boxer for 34. Boxer is the best move considering rebox isn't a word. I don't know if it's valid in the new dictionary, but rebox is not a word. You know, you put something in a box, take it out, you put it back in again. That's how you rebox things, but unfortunately life doesn't work like that. So Zach has drawn another E. He seems to have drawn an L and a W again. That just seems so unrealistic, but that would probably happen with me as well. Be like, how did this happen? So he does have a bonus here. I don't expect him to know it. I won't really torture him for not knowing it. It would go here. It's Weddell's. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I think of that word. Blah. Yeah. The only 8 is lewdness, which sounds a bit like an all-it word. An all-it word being a word that's kind of gross, but you can tell what's on his mind. So there's no lewdness, and Weddell's is the best. If you don't know Weddell's, which I'm assuming like 9 out of 10 of you don't know the word Weddell's, something simple like weld would do just fine. Or anything like above the X as well. Playing a move like do here, you can tell it just gives away easy scoring above it, like across this row F, because you got A, E, and O that go there. You got A and U that go there, if I remember my 3s correctly. And then so many high scoring tiles go here. You're giving away an easy 40 points, and that's the kind of moves that you tend to want to avoid when you're playing defensive. Zach is a bit more of a defensive player than your typical player. He says that he plays a bit like me sometimes, except he's probably slightly more wordy. I'm not quite sure. He plays a lot slower than I do, or that I can do anyway. But that doesn't mean he can't still speed up. I mean, he has literally been practicing with me like every other day. So my whole history is like filled with games with Zach. And the last game we had earlier, he did beat me. So he is capable of completely obliterating good players. So Zach's taking a lot of time here. He probably feels that there is a bonus, and we have been discussing his tactics and his tactics and the way he uses his time. And sometimes he feels that he takes too much time over moves like this, where it's really simple. You've just got to make a choice: is it Jew or Weld? If you can't see the bonus, just forget it, move on. Rather than waste like 4 minutes on an opening move, it's a lot better to just play and see what happens. So Andy does have a bonus here if you know your words ending in O. Rouleau. Sounds like a cake. Rouleau. Not sure what it is. It better be a cake. So Andy does see rouleau. Ooh, only 7. And there was a funky 8 there with a floating H or Q Qwizical. Don't look at me. I have no idea what a Qwizical is. Huaqeuer. No. Just let's go back to whatever it is I was planning on doing anyway. So Zach drew the Q, so that's just awful. He must be like, let's get on with the second game already. Let's just leave this first game. Zach does have a pretty nice Q dumper in shekel. I believe that's some kind of money thing. I can't remember. Yeah, I might as well just go straight to bed. I am in bed at the moment. Great visual imagery for you guys. In bed. I'm on bed. Not really in it. So Zach plays shekel. It is the best move in terms of getting rid of the Q and the clunky letters. He does leave W. Oh no, he does leave V, N, I think, or something. V and N. Yeah, but on this board, S isn't very useful either, so he doesn't need to worry too much about getting rid of the S at this stage. There are 3 S's on the scene from Zach's point of view and another 2 blanks, so he doesn't need to worry. So Andy's almost straight away picked another bonus. It goes with floaters O, R and L. Tartuffe doesn't fit through the R of boxers. The others are outfeast and tasteful. So Andy decides to go for big points and plays statue for 40. That's pretty good move decision wise, because as I said, there aren't many places for S's on the board. There was obviously rouleaus and there was boxers as well. Other than that, there was no S hook, so really keeping your S, it's only going to take away another tile from your rack. Of course S's are good, but if there's nowhere for them that's useful on the board, then should you really consider keeping them when you can score 40 points like he did? So that put Andy into a 100-point lead, and Zach's got his racks are just sort of getting slightly worse. Though, as I've always been told, things will get worse before they get better. Though that probably doesn't help Zach any. He'll look to get rid of 2 in the V, W and F here. So unfortunately you can't get rid of all 3 at once without changing. Vow is probably the best bet, because you've kept an A, so you've got the A vowel hook. If letters allow you to do something there later. Andy's 6 tile turnovers allowed him to pick up the Z, so he's got great scoring potential here for this move. He's also got an I to do something like Rhea here, but that's not going to be the best move. But there is the scoring here that is possible. Could always consider something like Zerfs for 37. Of course, you can't play in row 1 across until you get to I7, I9. Because there's no 2-letter words ending in Z. Unless you're from Australia, and then you just call it Oz. But that's not a valid Scrabble word. So, something like Zerfs would be pretty good. If anyone is actually watching this game and would like to suggest something to me, or even join me, you can all join me or something, you're welcome to give me a nudge, have some fun, do whatever. So Andy plays Ria for 30. That keeps the board pretty tight, which it could be what Andy wants to do. I don't know. So Zach's only got 1 vowel now. He must be completely going mental, because he's just not had very good tiles, and when you don't have good tiles, you can't really play too good Scrabble. You can only do your best, and sometimes that ain't very good. So I move a Baft here to 20. It gets rid of the duplicate T, gets rid of the complicated B and F, creates a little bit of an opening, not an S hook, but it opens out the lower half of the board, it's what Zach needs to do at this point. He needs to make sure that Andy is too distracted from the openings in the top half of the board, like the S of shekels. I suspect that will be left open quite a bit. That's almost why I suggested Zerf. But what I haven't noticed from Andy is that Ria actually set up Zerf. Oh no, it nearly set up Zerf. Maybe he was overthinking things, like I was. So Zach plays a Baft, and now I'm kind of wondering whether he knows what I'm thinking. Hopefully we're not psychically connected, because that would be pretty worrying. I don't want to be psychically connected to somebody in America. That would be really creepy. So Andy could play something like Fuse down here for 46. I'm pretty sure he couldn't get the Z on the double letter square. He's played this pretty quickly. He played Zoe pretty quickly. I wouldn't have played Zoe, but of course Andy would be aware that opening is what Zach wants to use to try and get back in the game. So he's just going to take it away very, very slowly. There are 2 8s here, both with floating vowels I and O. There's dentinal, to do with your teeth. Probably couldn't hear that. And lentando, which probably means something like slowly or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, there's a 9 here. If Zach can see it, I am using Zizzler. There's no way I would have spotted this by myself. There's lanterned through the E and R for 72. Now, if Zach had way more than 9 minutes left, I bet you he would see that. Since he only has 9 and a bit minutes left, I expect him to not see that. And I kind of expect him to play off the duplicate N and the D, or the N and the L. He's going to want to keep the A for the vowel hook, and the problem is nothing really opens out the lower half of the board now, and the problem with the Baft is that it won't take the S. Most words that begin with A, like that hook A into the front of the word, like Baft, B-A-F-T, is a word, takes an A in front. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, it's probably a Baft. But most of those words tend not to take S's. If it was free challenge, or even penalty challenge, you just say, always think about it. If a word, it's like a 4-letter word or whatever, hooks with an A in front, always consider whether it might or might not take the S. Like a 4-letter word ending in I. The words ending in I are really stupid. It's yeah, you might as well just tell me you don't have an S on it. So Zach plays down for 22. That gives him a floating E and D to play with. He does play one of his vowels though, and he kind of might not really like that. Andy quickly plays umpy for 45. That's like an umpire, I think. He utilises the front hook for Rex and O pretty well. You know, and I like how on this board we're currently leaving this major scoring hotspot in column 12 open, just because it's like, whoa. Of course, Lantern would have completely blocked Umpy, but then the L would have been here, and then the U would have gone there, and then if you can visualise it, that's great. If you can't, yeah. There's no 7 here, there's only one 8, and that's Allanite. I guess that's like a mineral of somebody called Alan. We have a couple of Allans in this country. Allanite. There's probably an Alan, you've all heard of Alan Simmons. Just imagine him like a mineral. Then you've got Allanite. That'd be a really fun way to remember it. And creepy. You probably don't want to turn APSP Grandmasters and National Champions into minerals. That would be kind of worrying. So, Zach's still struggling with his racks, and he's just eking out his lead ever so slightly. He's now at 152 points ahead, so Zach needs 2 bonuses to catch up. And there's kind of fewer and fewer tiles in the bag now. You know, as each time goes by that Zach's just losing, you know, playing more tiles to try and get a bonus. There's less and less. Yeah, but he might play something like all here. The duplicate L's, you know. Well, it's good to have duplicate L's. L's are just awkward. I just don't like L's. Like, that's an L. It doesn't really block off the S, either or. Either or. Well, that's just a really bad sentence, that one. It also has plenty of front hooks as well. So that also creates another bonus opening. Because actually, so if Zach played all, he'd have here. I wonder why it's gone blue. I can't remember it going blue. You'd have here, 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 here. And maybe this is lucky you can play through the T here, but I'm not going to work well. Oh, and here. Oh, don't tell me you've dropped frames. That's awful. Don't say that. Don't say that, Twitch. So there's actually quite a lot of bonus openings on the board already. Yeah, bonus openings. Zach's just gonna have to try and he's gonna have to keep it open. He's, you know, at the moment Andy's had the X for scoring, he's had a bonus, he's had statue, he's had the Zeds, he's had the higher scoring tiles generally that make it all better. And Zach, if you can hear me, stop hearing me. Either that or we practice so much together that he basically knows exactly what I'm thinking now, which is still pretty freaky. So Andy only has 1-7 here. Unfortunately, it doesn't go down. The word is freckly, as in having many freckles on one's face is to be freckly. Fiercely is one of the many 8s. I'll just read them quickly. Cranefly, fiercely, fireclay, flackery, flickery, and forcedly. Or forcedly, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Zach quickly plays redating. He knows he's low on time, so he's going to play super quick now. Because that we tend to do anyway. So Zach is still 117 points behind. I think the game is sort of lost now. Partly because Andy just bonused. And Andy gets another bonus now. He plays Aetherize. Now I know that from playing far too much Countdown. So Countdown is a UK quiz. Well, not really a quiz, it's more of a... I don't know how to describe it. It's like a math letter thing. It's kind of a bit like TV Scrabble if you're old enough to remember TV Scrabble, which all of you should be, because I'm old enough to remember TV Scrabble. That is if you all had it in America. We had it here. I was like, I'm going to go on that when I'm older, and then they quit it. It was like, that's just awful. I would have, like, completely wiped the floor with everyone at TV Scrabble. So, back to this game and my bad memories of TV Scrabble. Zach's basically got to play as few tiles here as possible. He plays Tink for 50, so that gets him kind of back in the game. And he's going to play as many tiles as possible, because playing as many tiles empties the bag quicker. So you've always got to think about these kind of things when you're playing. Sometimes they just... yeah. So something like aiming here for 32, that does pretty well. You know, it plays tiles. Ultimately, he'd probably want to take out the bonus lanes, but honestly, Zach is going to have a very slim chance at winning from here. So Amy would put Andy 170 points ahead if Zach was going to double bonus here. I'd be pretty surprised. He probably has it within him to double bonus, but it's not. So the thing is here, there are 9 tiles left in the bag. Zach needs there to have any remotely slim chance of winning. He needs to play 1 tile and then hope that Andy either loses his turn or also plays 1 tile, and there's got to be 7 in the bag, and then Zach can bonus and then get another bonus to win. Honestly, if that happened, I'd be like staring out the window looking completely freaked out. That's even more freaked out than I usually look freaked out. So I guess Zach's gonna try and bonus here. If this was me, I'd just be like, giving up, just play tiles, don't think too much about strategy. So something like Tig, I kind of expect to play. You want to split up the double G's, you want to keep the N open, because that goes well with your rack. What else to do? If only I had someone else to join me, and then I could ridicule them. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I mean, so they can help me and find words and stuff. All sorts of stuff that involves no such ridiculing whatsoever. So that's going to use up all his time again. I almost expect that. He uses a lot of time a lot of the time. Just sending out greetings to my fellow helpers in French. Coucou les aches. If you understood what that meant, I applaud you for your wonderful French. If you didn't understand what that meant, I wasn't calling the H's cuckoo. So Zach plays Geo for 13. Yeah, the game's lost anyway, so you can't really, like, say anything. And he's going to play Jive here, I suspect. Jive is the obvious move. It scores 48. It leaves 2 in the bag. Jay's not very good for a 9-timer spot. Obviously, this point of game, you should never open a 9-timer spot. Something weird might happen. That's weirder than me. Something weird could happen. I really don't suspect there's a 9-timer here, especially with the J in that position, and considering Nachi's was kind of not possible, I think. So what was I saying? So Zach's got a really nice rack here in this game. Finally, he's got a nice rack. I mean, how long did that take? He's got scanting through the N. He's got cantings as well through that N. That's literally it. Yeah, the scanting literally just reduces the deficit just a tiny weeny little bit. So hopefully Zach will find it, so we can at least get him over the 300 barrier. Because every player wants to get over that 300 barrier. Like when I was 9, if I didn't get over the 300 barrier, like I was pretty annoyed with myself. Now that is a phony. Now that is just irritating because Andy's got odorize on his rack. And so Andy sees a wonderful bonus through the G, the only bonus through the G. It is good, sire. Well done, sir. Good, sire. Zach probably doesn't know scanting or cantings, or just wants to get the game over with. So, the game's going to finish up quickly. People keep greeting me. This is very annoying. I have to talk to my favourite Tiny Mouse. If you're wondering, Tiny Mouse, she's known me since I was 11, which is ages, considering. And, yeah. So, Andy's got nah for 14, or anything more than 14. Does anyone see anything more than 14, I swear? It's 11. It's 10. Andy could obviously, he's got 10 minutes. He can use as much of it as he wants here. Just thinking about, you know, what he's gonna do. See, that's the advantage of playing fast. You have as much time as you want to think about endgame. And endgame is where a lot of games can be won and lost. Obviously in this game, it was kind of lost sort of a while ago. So, Andy did get 4 bonuses. I assume he wants to get kind of really close to the 600 mark. See, Zach's got 12 left, and he needs to score 18 points. If only ANU was a word. If only, such a bummer, it's not a word. It's gotta be something else. It's probably just like, I want 18 points now, please. If only Zan was a word, I don't even know. Well, that scores 14, would it? Yeah, 14 is the best. So, Andy wins the first game 596 to 313. So, Zach's arse has literally been whooped. And, why am I dropping frames? This isn't the thing, Twitch. So, you and me, we got a dodgy relationship, right, Twitch? You're not allowed to drop frames. You're just not. Okay? I don't care what you're telling me, what kind of warnings. You're not doing this. So, if I was actually talking to Zach after the first game, I'd literally say, like, you know what, don't worry, that's all your bad luck out of the way. Like, there was absolutely nothing you could do about it. Yeah, just keep trying, basically. So, so they've started this second game. Andy gets to start this time. He's got a nice opening rack, to be quite frank, as some people may call it. He's got the word frank. There are no bonuses here. Frank comes down pretty quickly. Zach seems to have a very similar kind of rack. He's got boxer again. He has boxer again. So unfortunately that doesn't go down anywhere. If Zach can't maximise the X here, that would be pretty unlucky. Because, yeah. So, he'd likely play through the A here, I'd reckon. Something like... I'm trying to think. Doing this without scissors is not advised. Fluff. You get fluff in my mouth. So, let's see. There's a word called brehon. Brehon. It sounds like the Brecon Beacons. Except, not the Brecon Beacons. Brehon. I guess that's kind of the best move. I don't know. This rack is really hard on this board. There is no easy move decision. It's just really complicated. So Zach plays abhor, which is probably a good way of describing his racks. You know, he probably abhors them. So, Andy's got a nice balanced rack here. Even though he's got F, U, and C on his rack, and of course, for our younger viewers, please look away now. Oh! That could actually be one of the best moves. It's obviously not the best move if you're, like, 10 years old. But it's the best move in terms of getting rid of the rubbish. There's also Fukai, F-U-C-I. That does pretty well as well. It doesn't do good in terms of scoring. I mean, yeah. That's kind of pretty open. It's not very, yeah, it's just the boards and Zach are not agreeing today. So, well, this is Andy, but the boards and Zach are basically not agreeing. It's such a shame as well that Andy didn't pick up a T, because he did hold E and S, and he could extend Frankist, which would be pretty good. Andy plays Curie for 20. That's kind of not the best move in the world. He does leave FMS. It's not a very good leave. Zach plays Nox now for 40. So, Zach's leading by 4 points. Yay! We might have a decider now. If you were paying attention long enough, you'd notice that Zach did have the Frankist extension. He still has the Frankist extension. So Frank extensions to triple are Frankers, Frankist, Franking, and Franklin. Probably a bit like the anagram of Franklin. But hopefully nobody will be using a Franklin in this game. They shouldn't be. That would be pretty worrying. So, to go with Andy's possible play last time, he also had this one. Look away now, children. Nobody wants to see any MILFs on the board. Don't look. Yeah, let's get rid of that. No, my screen is lagging. Okay, there we go. It's gone. It's gone now. It's fine. It's safe. One of the reasons that word was one of the best words is because it gets rid of 5 tiles. There's only really one bonus opening on this board, and that's So it's kind of one of the best because it's just, you know, if there's only one S opening on the board and that's Frank's, you know, you sort of gotta sometimes take it because there isn't really any other scoring opportunities anywhere. And of course, sometimes you want to take out those opportunities for your opponents as well. So Zach now has a bonus to take like a massive lead. He's got relates, then he's got the other bonuses that relates make, like Elaters, Realist, Reslate, and Stealer. Unfortunately, there is no 9 timer, but I expect like Relates or Realist to come down here pretty quick. Except this is Zach we're talking about, so probably not as quick as you'd like. One of the players in the game that's going to happen later, so as in about 5.5 hours time, Ileana Philby. Hi Ileana! She says that she's kickboxing Zach's racks in the balls. Now that's a terrible rhyme, but also that's incredibly painful. Probably because she wants to see Zach win. I want to see both these guys win. So, but if you weren't here to see Zach's last game, he got completely whooped. Like, there's no getting away from that. He got whooped. But that's not because he could do anything to avoid getting whooped. He just had horrible letters. Like, there is no way that you can win a game with those kind of letters. And he did wonderfully with what he had. He got 4 bonuses. So yeah. Zach's probably thinking really hard about this move. He might not want to leave the triple open. You know, he might even be thinking about relates down here for 80. So how much did Realist get? That must get close to 80. I think that's 81. There isn't much difference. Obviously the difference is the triples and stuff. Or maybe he's thinking about Franks. You know, as we all know the Frank, the adjective meaning. But do we know Frank, the noun meaning? He might just be convincing himself. We might just be like, I don't want any more bad letters. You're not going to get any more bad letters, Zach. I'm not going to let it happen. At least not in this game. No more bad letters in this game. So, this is the kind of time where I tell Zach to stop thinking so much. Apparently he overthinks, and that's just really bad when you overthink Scrabble moves. It's like, you got a bonus, play the bonus in the obvious position. And that was not the obvious position, Zach. Like, he probably just wasn't sure of Frank's. Which is kind of a bit bad. He's opened up like another 9 timer as well. And though he has blocked Franklin, which Andy has, so we're going to have no anagrams in this game. Which is good. To these guys, probably. There is a 7 here, Simlins. I didn't know Simlin, it just sounds like a baby Sim character. Like, here's my baby Simlin. There's actually no floaters on the board as well. This rack goes with a G, and an O, and an E, and a D. So Smilings was blocked onto the G of Frig. Smilings as in, what you need to do right now, Andy, when you're watching this com, you need to start smiling. I mean that, otherwise I'll come round to Canada and, like, forcibly make you smile. So I probably won't need to do that, because you're going to start smiling now at the thought of me going over there to make you smile. No, nobody wants me to get anywhere near anyone else to try and make them smile. There's tons of bonuses here, like, in terms of 8s, not 7s. There are absolutely no 7s whatsoever. There's an additive, auditive, cavity, dilative, ideative, tidivate. It's like when you activate a tiddlywink, maybe. Vanitied, vaticide, vitiated. And guess what? None of those floaters are available. Unless you can, like, extend the board by 4 rows at the bottom. Make cavities. I'd kind of expect Zach to play dative here. What button have I hit by mistake? I've hit a button. Oh dear, this is awful. So something like dative or Vitae. So dative scores 39. Vitae scores 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 42. There isn't much difference between them. Andy's like had the best dream pickup ever. He's drawn 2 blanks from playing 3 tiles. Like, how do I get what he's eating? Like, somebody tell me how you draw 2 blanks like that. Andy, you're gonna have to share your secrets with me, cause I got knocked out. So you're gonna have to tell me how to win next month's virtuals. That is if Quinn isn't there. She'll probably whoop my ass or something anyway. She wants my ass in clappers, so she'll whoop me anyway. Like, the problem is here that there isn't really a bonus opening as such. Like, there's no S hooks. Like, Andy would need a bonus ending in H to get underneath the C here, and the only one with the blank is an H is Plinth for 64, for more than 64. Yeah. Hang on, let me add this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 14, 15, 16, 18. That's called 71. Nest-like is pretty good though. That's probably how you describe my bedhead. Nest-like. You could probably fit a whole family of birds in my bedhead, and that would be pretty awesome for the birds, pretty crap for me. The bonus only brings Andy to 8 points ahead, so Zach isn't too far behind. Come on, Zach, you can still win this game. Except his rank's got a load of duplicates on it. He's got duplicates. That's like triple duplicates. So he's gonna want to play gate somewhere. Preferably at the front of the house. He's gonna play gate. Okay, that was bad. I'll go hide under the duvet. So Gates would obviously play here and here, and even Gates there or down here. You know, as much as I hate to say Gates' the best move, there's just nowhere on this board to score anything. Like, you'd have to be incredibly lucky to draw the right tiles to play on this board. That's probably like kicking himself that, or at least kicking Andy, that he's gotten so many blanks and bonuses and God knows what. Zach's probably going to spend a lot of time thinking about this. Probably spend a lot of time thinking about everything anyway. But this move's particularly difficult because there just is nothing obvious. I think probably Cage is the best bet. I think I'd rather keep 2 T's over the G. G is particularly complicated sometimes. You know, they're just difficult, and difficult letters are the worst. And also Cage opens out kind of some floaters at the bottom of the board, which is kind of what is needed. Not really for either player at the moment. The scores are level, but it's kind of what is needed to do something really. So I really don't blame Zach for taking loads of time over this move. If this was a game over the board, I probably would take quite a bit of time as well. Sometimes the trick is to find the hot spots, and Zach could definitely hear me. Like, I'm not kidding. Zach, stop hearing me. So Andy had lovely letters. He had the Q and the U, but he also didn't need the U there to do that, he played Kanat for 68. So Zach's now 55 points behind. It's probably like all those practice games with Jessica are useless. Like, she's the most unluckiest sod in the world. Which is true, I am an unlucky sod. Especially since you drew that. No, that's just disgusting. So, Zach plays Toia for 16. Using the magical Ecurie hook. Andy quickly plays Death for 26. I didn't even catch his rack there, like, wow. Zach has horrible duplicates. Again, it looks basically like a mitosis overload of letters. Like, they're just not getting much better for him. Like, Ilya, you might need to kick his rack in the balls again or something. You know, just to get some sense into it so he can have a better match. So Zach has a chance of winning. Kick it! So, Zach needs to get rid of the duplicate O&E. If he can get rid of the other O as well, that would be brill. But he just can't. He plays Item for 35, so he's just scoring. At this point, he needs to score to catch up. That's just what has to happen, basically. So Andy's not got a 7 here, but he would have 2 8s if the right floaters were available. There's Sub-Entry, which unfortunately Ivy'd blocked slightly. Boo. And there's Sunberry, which sounds like an ISC bot. Sunberry. We have Waxberry, Dogberry, Snowberry, but no Sunberry. Maybe we should like tell Carol, you need to create another robot. It's called Sunberry. So Andy played Bun for 20. It kind of makes, you know, a kind of opening. Well, anyway, Item created the opening, so it doesn't really matter. You know, he's kind of limiting it. The U of Bun kind of destroys it. The problem is he keeps the Y. Keeping the Y is like not the best idea in the world, because Ys is just awful to bonus with. Like, you always want to try and get a balanced rack. At this point, he might be thinking, I'd rather score than bonus, but definitely get rid of the Y. There's no floating G and no floating W. Stupid Toeia's blocked the bonus through the G. It was new to CSW12. It's an Eco Lodge. That sounds like trying to be environmentally friendly and have a holiday at the same time. That sounds like a really bad holiday. Iliana's just spotted the bonus with the floating W. I'm going to put all of you out of your misery now. It's Loco Weed, which is just absolutely crazy. Literally crazy Loco Weed. So Zach somehow got to G himself up to find a good move here. Yet again, the board is like incredibly tough. If he's confident enough to score his way out of it, he can play something like Cool here for 24. In that he can hope he draws the high screen tiles left, which is the J, the Z, the W's, the Y's, the H, the P. You know, even though obviously getting bonus tiles would be the best here, the scoring tiles will help him as well. And if only he could like just convince the tile fairy to give Andy some bad letters. I'm not sure where the tile fairy is at the moment. Let's see. Well, tile fairy's an actual handle on ISC. She hasn't been here since January last year. Well, screw the tile fairy. She hasn't been here for a while, so I can't even tell her to help Zach out. That's just screwy. There are 25 letters left in the bag, and Zach has just over 4 minutes left. It's kind of not looking well for Zach. He's going to be under a lot of time pressure unless there's a load of bonuses in the last couple of moves. He really needs the 11 minutes like Andy has. Unfortunately, it seems here that Andy is going to win this game 2-0. And another commentator would be knocked out. Like, I swear, this is like the proper commentator's curse. Now that is an all-out word. No, no. So Zach puts his dually on the board. Zach, get your dually off the board now. I don't want to see it. I've got nobody here to cover my eyes. Get your dually off. Immediately I see the word pony. I'm going to make one pony lover very, very happy by saying that. Pony it's likely to just be one of the best moves, like, immediately. It gets rid of all the complicated letters that Zach probably wish he has. You know, it keeps ERS on your back. ERS is beautiful. And he's decided he's going to maximise the S hook that he's got. He's got the last S. So, he's decided he'd rather do that. I don't know why he's decided that. Men are weird. They probably decide creepy Scrabble moves as well. That's not to say Andy's weird. He's lovely. Like a big slobbery dog, maybe. Dogs are his favourite animal. Zach's favourite animal is a sloth. So, interesting tidbit of the day. So Zach's probably aware that Andy's got the S at this point, otherwise he wouldn't have done a move like Pew. He will be kind of looking to block it. It is kind of hard to block. Something like no. Oh no, you can't have no. Head isn't a word. Boo, head's not a word. I suspect John. John for 32. That kills off the S hook. Die, S hook. Yeah. No wonder I'm in bed. I want to sleep now. Zach plays Chon for 30. So Chon kills off the S hook as well. Doesn't have a front hook or an end hook, so that's really useful. Andy has a wonderful word that kind of describes what I just did. He has yawners. Yawners. Oh, with a floating T there was sternway, and a floating N made swannery, i.e. where you keep your swans in a swannery, probably. Zach is 70 points higher now, and we're literally approaching endgame, and this doesn't look very promising for him. He's got to keep the E at the bottom of the board open. He needs to get rid of the J. He'd like to get rid of the U as well. He'd like to score with the J. There's so much that Zach would just love to do right now that it's just like, no, not going to happen. So Joel would be pretty nice here. It has 27 points. It doesn't leave the best leave in the world. The tile bag looks particularly vowel heavy. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 vowels out of 15. Okay, so there's like a balance, but the consonants in the bag, G, N, P, R, R, Y, Z, they're just not very friendly for bonuses. I've just checked my my ISC messages, and Andy said he's counting his victory over Zach as a 601 point victory because ISC's challenge penalty rule is slightly different. It subtracts the points instead of adding them on like we do here in the UK and probably in America as well when they play Collins. So Andy got 601 points all because of 5-point penalty. Woo! So Zach plays Jill instead. That's probably a bit better because it leaves the out prefix instead. Andy quickly plays a Qwiz. It sounds like a squeezy hug. A Qwiz! That just sounded so cute. Zach does actually have 2 bonuses here. He's got drop out and out drop. They just don't go anywhere. 2 sevens. Hopefully he'll see Uprooted. That should win him the game. Uprooted through the E down here. Oh, down that. So Uprooted scores 62. Zach would pick up 06, 10, 20, 82. Oh God! No, I think that loses by a couple of points. Well, Zach's kind of lost the game now. Uprooted wouldn't be enough. 62 plus 20 is 82. Yeah, he loses by. Oh, that's just really unlucky. And Ileana is willing Zach to find Uprooted. Let's all will Zach to find Uprooted. Come on, Zach. Who cares that you've gone into the red now? We just want you to bonus out so you can finish on a small, insignificant but really good high, and you've played out roped. Oh. Andy would just block that opening now, hopefully. Unless he suspects there to not be a bonus there, he'll just play something along the triple at the top, like getting rid of his Y, which will automatically just cement his victory. So Andy will win the second of the game unless something miraculously awful happens. That's miraculously awful for Andy. It'd be miraculously good for Zach. But Zach wouldn't want to win a game like that anyway. He's too nice to win a game like that. So Annie will win this 2-0 and progress to the next round to play the winner. No, to play the winner of the match that happened on the 4th of July, I think, which was the game between Mina and Daniel. And Daniel won that game quite comfortably. So Daniel faces the winner of these guys, which is Andy. Andy plays Probed for 33. No, Andy plays Aeon to block the bonus, and Zach plays Probe for 33. Andy's got Year on his rack. He plays Yeah to go out, and he wins 417 to 344 and progresses to the next round. As you see, to play Daniel Figueiredo. My bad Portuguese. So, unfortunately for Zach, Canada prevails over America. Some people would say yay, some people would say boo, some people would like get out their guns and start firing. I would throw Kinder eggs at Zach, and then he'd get arrested because he'd been in possession of Kinder eggs. You can't have a Kinder egg in America. So congratulations to Andy for such a dominant victory over Zach. Unfortunately, he knocks another commentator out. So bad commentator's curse. We should never ever commentate again. And commiseration to Zach. Unfortunately, his racks didn't allow him to show the wonderful way he's been playing against me. Tasha decided to join me. Unfortunately, the commentary is over.
I know.
Well, were you watching it?
No.
Okay.
I was busy. But
so, Andy won.
cool.
So I'm just gonna shut this off now. I hope you guys tune in 5 hours time to catch the final Troposphere game between Carmen Wong and Ileana Philby. That's going to be commentated by Zach and Mina. So I hope you guys enjoy your evening and tune in for that game, which is at, what is it?
I don't know.
8 PM EST. 8 PM Eastern. Bye guys, enjoy your evenings.